Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fulton Street Beats. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of upgrading on the Fesley guitar. I hope you can hear me okay. And this guitar is really cool. This turned out to be a really nice guitar. Did have some quirks out of the box, but for the most part I took care of that. And if this video skips around a little bit, I apologize. I'm doing a voiceover to this simply because recording this video was hard to do. We had all the kids in the house and jumping in and out of the pool and lots of noise, so we're going to do the best we can. So what I'm going to start out doing is we're going to put some Guyker locking tuners on, and if you're not familiar with Guyker locking tuners, every pair that I've ever used has been really of exceptional quality and really a really good value. I want to say these ran me right around $32. And they're a vintage style tuner, so they'll go right on this guitar because this Fesley came with vintage style black tuners. Now the tuners that were on it held tune fine, but I like locking tuners, especially with a trem system and we don't have a locking nut. So I'm a little anal when I do this stuff, and I make sure that everything's in its proper place as I'm doing it, and I end up boxing back up the old tuners in the original box. So if I need those for another project, I'll have them. These are like a nickel style tuner that's going on it, and they have well, they got a really vintage looking button on them, as you can see right here. Very nice, very solid, very sturdy, and they lined up perfectly. There was no fuss, no muss with the holes that were pre-drilled in the guitar, so I didn't have any worries there. And keep in mind, the only reason I'm upgrading this guitar to my liking is because the bones of this guitar were so good. So we're going to start out here, and I'm popping them in like so. And the first thing you saw me do was knock out the old, they're not buttons, but they're like little inserts. And I just use a socket to tap those out. Sometimes they come out easy, sometimes they come out hard. Just find a socket that fits the hole perfectly from the other side. Give them a little tap with a brass hammer, they pop right out. Same thing with bass guitars. Very simple. And as you can see, I already installed roller string trees. So you see those sitting right there. There we go. I thought I already did it. I didn't. They're sitting right there. So as you can see, I'm going to take, oh, there we go. Pop them in. They sit right in there. And now I'm just making sure that the holes are properly drilled. Now there is a top and a bottom to two of these machining tuner machines, because they sit differently on the top and the bottom, and the middle ones will all be the same. But you want to make sure you get the top and bottom one. Actually, you really don't have a choice because they simply won't fit if you don't do it correctly. So just line up your holes, boom, and then they're drilled in. That's what I'm showing you right now. See, one's a little longer on the bottom, and the other one is longer on the top. And those two are your starting points, basically. Now, I started using the screws that came with it, and I quickly realized that I ended up using the black screws in the middle, and then the silver screws on the ends and the black screws in the middle that came with the other set. I believe that the black screws were just a little bit bigger of a head, and it gave me a little more security in knowing that the tuners weren't going to move on me. And there's our tuners. They look really, really good. Very impressive, very nice look, very aesthetically pleasing, and a big difference in tuning stability. So now we're going to start taking this pickup out here. And what I quickly discovered with this guitar is once we pull these pickups out, they do all these budget guitars now put foam under their pickups instead of springs. So you can't do a pickup height adjustment on these, and that just simply blows my mind now. So there's your piece of foam right there. So there's no springs in here whatsoever, but I take some springs that I have and put some in there so I can adjust my pickup height if I need to. I don't know what this DiMarzio is going to sound like, whether it's going to be too hot or I might have to move it away, or whether I'm going to have to bring it up. So we're changing two pickups in this one, by the way. We're changing the bridge pickup and the center pickup to a DiMarzio set. I forget what they are right now. They're just ones I had kind of kicking around. So I'm taking off the back cavity cover so I can see the wiring and see how much I have to work with and can pull. I don't want to tug on anything unnecessarily and ruin anything. So I know where I'm going to have to cut and know where I can splice back together. So there we are. There is our new pickup. I'm just going to make a cut and guesstimate right here. Boom, right there. And I got plenty to work with in case I ever want to use this particular pickup again. And by the way, these stock pickups did sound good. Just needed a bit more output. So that's why I'm going with these DiMarzios I had kicking around. And we just do our wire cuts here. And strip the wires back. And I make sure I solder everything. A lot of times when I do these builds, I'll put quick disconnects on things. But this one I'm just going to wire in because I don't suspect I'll be in here anytime soon. And then just quickly twist these together and we'll give them a quick solder. And just use some simple electrical tape. And I don't get into the shrink wrap on these because they're just so small. It's hard for me to find the wrap that fits these. So I just use some, well, it's kind of expensive electrical tape, but it works well. And it never seems to fail. I was using a special type of, it's like a thicker type of electrical tape that I was getting from these wind turbine people who were guys that were putting these wind turbines up, and I got a roll of this stuff from this guy, and he said we use this on our electrical connections, and man, it was really cool stuff. The thing is, though, you can never separate it. Once you put it together, you literally have to cut in a new spot, and I have since misplaced that, and I can't find it. So hopefully I find that pretty soon, but boy, it works really good. Don't ask me what it's called because I have no idea. I tried to look it up. I haven't seen him since, and I tried to look it up, and I can't find. And you can use it for shielding too. I've used it for shielding in other guitars, so it acts as an electrical shielding also. And all it takes, you can make sure you got a good soldering tip, and that is it. And that is it. It's nice and clean, and it's that simple. That's how fast the soldering is done. And keep in mind, I've done this quite a bit, so I know the proper temperatures and know pretty much what solder to use. You know what I'm doing right now is I'm just cutting my piece of tape that I'm using to length. And I just wrap it. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Really helps my algorithms out. I know this is a calm video. Not a lot going on, but some people like this stuff, and it's a little bit zen watching something get done. So what I'm doing, what you see right here, and I forgot about this process, I have a two-sided electrical tape. It's kind of clear that goes over the outside tape, and that's what makes it stick so good. So basically, it's kind of like a more stickiness for the sticky, if that makes sense. It just makes a really good electrical connection rather than using heat shrink. And if I haven't mentioned, the neck on this guitar, the fretwork was simply outstanding. Keep in mind, guys, this is a $138, $139 guitar off of Amazon, and the finish in the neck is just really, really nice. Now, I've noticed a trend with guitars lately where there's some really inexpensive, nice guitars. Harley Benton is really setting a major staple for that's hard to beat for guitars in the inexpensive price points right now. I just visited their site and saw some amazing looking guitars for right around $150, $140, and I am just blown away at how they can do it. I was tempted to order one up, but I actually had one in mind that I was going to order, so I ended up ordering that one. I just had a real bad experience with a Ibanez guitar from Musician's Friend, and I'll never order from that again. It was horrible. I'm going to plan on doing an episode about that, so you might want to stay tuned for that one. So I went the Harley Benton route, and I got a lot coming from Harley Benton for a lot less money than I did the Ibanez, and really, realistically, more guitar and some accessories on top of that with money left over. So I'm Musician's Friend made me so angry. Guitar Center, never have my business again, period. But Harley Benton keeps treating me right. You see me laughing right here. I'm laughing at my kids in the background. They sometimes they make me chuckle. It's good to have a good family. So I'm just putting the screws in here, getting ready for the springs, and this is the pain in the ass part, getting these springs on. And I have a method, and I can't remember if I did it here or not, of taking a piece of metal tape and putting over the end of the springs to hold them in place so I can get them started into the wood. And what you do not want to do is start a new hole. Use your existing hole if at all possible. You do not want to start a new hole. And as a matter of fact, if your old hole is stripped out, I highly recommend dropping in some wood glue into that hole and pushing it down with some toothpicks or what have you until it gets hard, so you can at least get another bite to get another screw in there, or even go an oversized screw. Multiple holes is going to change your angles, and it's going to make the hole even weaker over time if it busts through into the first hole. So use your original holes whenever possible. And what I'm noticing right now is it's a tight fit for that pickup to fit into the cavity, the ears on it. So what I had to do is just bend the ears back just a little bit, and I was like, whoa, why do I have to bend the ears? And then I realized that the ears were bent out a bit too much, just from being in the packaging. So it's original DiMarzio packaging, so the way it sits in there, it's a really tight form fit. So I just had to put them kind of back into spec, and boom, easy to do. You can do it with your fingers and push it in there, and then we have a nice fit. And okay, I keep retesting, but I get frustrated sometimes. You may hear me sigh every once in a while. And by the way, the finish of this guitar is really good. I mean, really good. Here we go, just starting the holes, making sure they're lined up, and we are down in. And a lot better now, because now we're on springs and we can adjust the pickups. Yes. As you can see, now they're adjustable up and down. And of course, the center pickup was the same way, no spring, just foam. So I also added some springs into the center pickup, as you will see shortly. Now I'm just getting eyeballing the pickup. Get in the ballpark. Now, they didn't give me much wire to work with here, which was unfortunate. So I gotta get very close into this I gotta get very close into this to do the wiring, which was really a pain. And there we go, foam again. And that's a disappointment right there. I mean, they have to cut corners, but you would think that the foam would actually cost more than the little springs. So there we have it. So what I have done is, you can see is, I have pulled out the, I'm going to solder this pickup in real quick here. And as you can see, I pulled the other pickup back out to give me a little more room for wire to work with, so I could work outside, or else the way it was pulling down on the wire. I couldn't get to it. So I just simply pulled it out again, and we'll just zip them up back in together. And this is the thing, when you're working on guitars, you never know what you're going to run into. But I like to do things one at a time in a one-at-a-time process. That way, if there's a failure or something doesn't work, I know where I left off to do it, to fix it. So, for example, if I did these two pickups and then put the guitar back together and something was wonky, well, I have to wonder, is it wonky with the first pickup or is it wonky with the second pickup? What connection is messed up? If I do it in a proper order and test in between, which I didn't show, I did test the other pickup first. If I do it in a proper order, then I know how to troubleshoot it going backwards. Hope that makes sense to you guys. And there we go. Again, that metal tape is still there. It's reusable. So, boom, we zip that in there. Throw the metal tape over the end again. You see one just fell down. Throw it over the end again just to hold it. And zip them in. Now this is a poplar body, but what I notice with this wood is it's these screws aren't stripping out, and they still very tight fit with the screws. Now I'm just throwing on the DiMarzio cover back over the pickup. Now, these are really old. They're new old stock, and I say new old stock. I got these a long time ago. They don't even make these pickups anymore, I don't believe. So I'm curious what they're going to sound like myself. I've had them kicking around for a good long time, and just never really got to use them. And there we go. Now we're going to put our springs on, and I think on these ones, I don't know if I needed the tape or not on these ones. These springs are a lot shorter than the humbucker ones. Yeah, they sit right into place. So I just kind of dropped it down, and they went right where they're supposed to go. And I start these by hand to make sure I'm not drilling a new hole. And there we go. Now I'm just going to kind of level it out. We'll do our fine tuning of the pickups later on, getting the height that I think sounds the best. And there we are. And as you can see, the strings are still hanging over the side over there. That's because they're brand new strings that I just strung up. And I'm going to try to reuse these. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. But there you go. That's what they look like. There's the tuners. When the string trees. And if I put my ear to the guitar, I know I'm not getting any sound out of the guitar like that. I'm tapping the guitar to see if there's any unwanted vibrations going on in the guitar itself as I tap them. Not just the pickup output, but anything that's rattling or loose in the guitar I can take care of now. That's why I put my head down and listen. Checking my switch to make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to and splitting the way it's supposed to. And everything appears to be good. And this should be, there we go. And you can see the output. Now that amp is turned down low. Now this has some output. Those pickups are way hotter than what was in it, for sure. And I don't know if it's psychosomatic or not, but it blends nicely with the factory pickup up by the neck. So that just kind of turned out that way. I did originally plan on getting another DiMarzio and replacing it, but after playing it when I'm done, I decided to keep it. There's just no point. Yes, I double and triple check everything. And we're going to string her back up. Now, I got a wadded mess here, but as long as nothing's kinked, well, like I said, these are lockers, so I just cut the ends off and rock and roll with it. All right, guys, so this is about it. We're just going to string it up now and run it through the lockers. I want to thank you for watching Fulton Street Beats. I'm going to give you a couple pictures here at the end to show you what it looks like. And if I have time at the end of this video, I'll give you a quick demonstration of what it sounds like real quick. And but I plan on doing another video of a good one of the sound so you guys can really hear what it sounds like. Thanks for watching Fulton Street Beats, guys. And if you could, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And here are those pictures that I promised.